Scully. 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 Scully.
What is up, everybody? Dreadful Rick here. So, I'm doing a video in support of the channel Guz69, and Guz, G-U-Z-69 is Gus, based out of Brazil. So, he is doing a skulls challenge. There's been a few participants already, and people outside of the Metal VC, people in the Metal VC. For us in the Metal VC, skulls, it's like a cakewalk, you know. That's a given in our collection. So why wouldn't I throw my hat in this? So he's doing a blog, and he plans to show like a skull a day. So we're gonna show like our favorite skulls. That's basically the idea. He read a book about a dude doing a similar concept, showing like a skull a day, and he decided to do a thread on this. So really cool. So why not? And so he's actually started this video like a few weeks back announcing this. So I'm late as usual. So sorry about that, Gus, but here's my video. So I did a few polls, and I think towards the end there I'm going to show you my favorite one at the moment. So I believe when he gets to 666 subscribers, he's at 450 or something like that right now. Maybe a little higher. He's going to turn this into like a contest of some sort. So I don't know the details or anything. I don't think he's announced anything specifically, but I like the idea. So I'm actually almost at 666 subs myself. So if this very video gets me there, all the sweeter, right? So yeah, so show our skulls. You know, I think it's very important and very iconic in our culture and just in general society. You know, skulls are like a reminder of our mortality, right? And it's just it's an emblem. It's used in everything. You know, it's in a lot of art. You know, I remember as a kid being definitely afraid of skulls. You know, also thinking they're cool at the same time. You know, I remember reading Captain America, you know, the Red Skull, you know, iconic villains, Skeletor, man, right? And it's just like, well, the OG Skeletor, not this new Skeletor, you know, that, I don't know, he's drinking soy or something. Anywho, so let me show you what I pulled and talk about a few things. There you go, no excuse to make skulls. So I themed this video back to skull because, was it last year? Shit, I did a contest entry, show me your skulls. Was it you, Metal Marty Mac? I think it was him. Show me your skulls. So I already did a video like this, you know, so get it back to skull. Whatever. Let me just show you what I pulled. All right, so let me breeze through these. So, you know, not to keep you here too long. I know you got things to do, dinner to cook, laundry to fold, spouses to arouse, you know, stuff, life. So my first poll is, I've showed this on a, what was it, live stream? I don't know. I showed this before. But this is a band out of Nashville, Tennessee, called Seidan, S-E-I-D-A-N. This is their debut full length called The Spiraling Chasms of the Blackest Hell. So black metal, although very Japanese inspired. If I didn't tell you they weren't Japanese, you would think they're Japanese. And this is, there's just skulls. And right here, and another one right here. Really cool artwork. So yeah, it's got that Japanesey looking obi strip and all that stuff. But need I remind you, this is an American band, very riffy black metal. It's highly recommended. You know, even if you're not normally into black metal, this is something that's got enough stuff to sink your teeth into that I think you would still find something to gravitate towards and really enjoy. So really cool. All right, next up we got, oh, okay, so I got Black Braid, and so I pulled both full lengths, and because both artworks are very similar and they both feature skulls. So this is the first one, Black Braid 1, and you can see I guess it's got like an animal skull, maybe a wolf skull or something, and there's like a human skull superimposed with antlers. Look at that. So yeah, and then you got things going on, teeth in the back, and I don't think, yeah, no skulls in here, just the cover. So look at that, pretty cool. So this is done by a fella by the name of Adrian Baxter, who's done both releases here. Well, this is the latest one that dropped last year. But for this one here, you have to look very carefully to find it. So Black Braid 2, And so it's actually two skulls, two animal skulls, looked at from the side view. It was like a crescent moon underneath and some flames. So it actually took me a little while to figure out what the hell's going on here. Because on first glance, it kind of looks like, remember those little toys, the trolls, with the little, I don't know, you just gave it a haircut, or you brushed its hair and all that stuff. Really popular in the 90s, maybe the 80s. But yeah, so really, really cool stuff. Adrian Baxter, very iconic artist. As far as the way he does his stuff, he does quite a few things for the metal community. Here's an example. So he did the debut for the artwork for the debut Cloak album here, To Venomous Deaths. So you can kind of see that style that he has going on here. Another one here is a Luna Solemnio. There you go. So he likes to do these sort of intricate, geometric, symmetrical, I guess you could say, style of artwork. And this was actually the last Luna album with Sophie Day, the old singer. So this is some stoner doom out of the UK. A good band, though I've not followed their last album, so I don't know if it's any good. I guess. Though I do miss the old singer. So, but yeah. So back to skulls. So here we have a band out of Poland. So they have yet to put out a full length. So this is an EP, and they kind of play in that sort of sleazy, I guess you could say, Bulldozer, a little bit of Master's Hammer, Cat, K-A-T, if you know that band. So it kind of has all those influences. So this is Sex Mag with Sex Metal. There you go. Big giant ass, floating skull. Yeah, I don't understand the the meaning behind the skull just there though. It's kind of just kind of floating, I just don't know the thing about just floating skulls. Just, I don't know, just needlessly, but it's there. It's just hanging out, going, "What's up?" Yeah, there's a topless woman kind of hanging upside down there, and maybe I guess that's something to look at. But came with this like cool poster. I'll show you real quick. I see it's a cool poster because it's worth showing. Look at this thing, man. Look at this thing. This thing is badass. Doesn't have a skull, but it's badass anyway. So I don't know. Like, I feel like there should be a reason for it though. It's some kind of way, in the presentation. The skull is just kind of floating there, looking at her. Here's Deathgrave, debut album. Now this makes more sense. The skull, it's just petrifying. I mean, look at that thing, man. It's just like, this guy's like, shit. If I'm not on my deathbed, I don't know what this is. It's just cool grindcore. There's the band. There's Mr. Greg Wilkinson, who runs Earhammer Studios. But man, plays an Autopsy now too. A bunch of other stuff. Static Abyss. It's just cool all around. So definitely check out this band if you haven't checked them out. But yeah, that artwork right there will draw you in. So, all right. What else we got? Oh, here's a fun one. Discharge. Massacre Divine. So this dropped in, I want to say 1991, I think. And this is a band for a long time trying to find their footing. Discharge, very iconic DB cross punk, metal, I guess metal, yeah, too. I mean, they got a little bit of everything going on. So this is a band, really cool artwork. I like this a little bit. It has a bit of an animation look to it. The little torpedoes kind of just sticking it through its mouth. I think they're torpedoes, or it could be a pleasure object. I'm not going to say what, but use your imagination. I don't think it's that. I think they're missiles. So this is a band, with Hear Nothing, Say Nothing, and then after that, they put out which is iconic album. It's just a classic. And then they put out Grave New World, which is more of a glam album, and it caused a lot of controversy and hate with the band. So this album, again, people had a lot of opinions and they needed a way to recover it. So it's just, sorry, I pulled the wrong one. So shit. Okay. Maybe I just post a thumbnail of it. Wrong Grave New World. So anyway, this right here, they went back to more of a metal sound. It's very much rooted in thrash. It's very weird. The vocals are really weird, but you know what? I enjoy it. It's pretty cool. The gatefold in there is pretty cool too. Let me look at that. They took that and threw it in closer, but Discharge. Next. Oh, okay. So here, well, here's a new one. So the latest Marduk, Memento Mori. Bam. There's a skull. You got this fleshy person, and then you got this skull sitting there. So for me, this was actually there's another skull in the back. There you go. Core artwork. This is a bit of a deviation from the usual stuff. Most of Marduk stuff is war themes, war related stuff, all that jazz. I don't need to, you guys know. So here they kind of they revisit themes of death. Your mortality. Again, very fitting for skulls. So very cool. I love this album. It's fast. It's blast beating. It punishes you. Typical Marduk fashion. You know what I mean? Plus, it's got hints of funeral mist in there. Like I hear funeral mist all over this. This beating's got a member. So it's just very cool around. Here are the boys. Yeah. So Marduk, definitely one of the better Black albums ever released last year. I think they lost me on Victoria, but I think they're back to form on this one, at least in my opinion. Okay, here's another class. Here's a classic one. So okay, a lot of these bands, death metal bands in particular, release a lot of old school sounding stuff, and then you got labels like the Crypts and whatnot reissuing these kind of one and done things. A lot of these bands came out and were doing death metal dime a dozen, and they dropped out. It's like, but a lot of it was really good. It just fell into obscurity. And so why did I mention these new bands? These new bands are trying to replicate the old sound and trying to do their thing, and and pay homage to the OGs and people in the scene back in the day. But at the same time, you're also competing with these reissues, and I've been picking up a lot of these reissues. You know what I mean. So, and Pillar was one of them. Cardinal Deity. There's a skull there. It's just look at that thing. Really really cool riffy black metal. Then the UK, definitely in that that British style. I'm thinking of there's a lot of English bands like Benediction and Bolt Thrower. Has a lot of those kind of familiar elements. So if you like those bands, you would definitely dig this. This was actually put out by Peaceville. Really really cool release. So definitely check it out. I think it's the only material they ever put out back in '92. I think it was 1992. So this right here, it's probably my favorite skull at the moment. Now, I'm going to tell you why. At first, it's going to seem a bit underwhelming, I guess, in a way, but hear me out. So this is was reissued as on CD format back in 2016, and then Dark Symphonies reissued this on vinyl in 2021. And this is a band I've never heard of. So this is death metal out of Greece. So Sarcastic Terror. Look at that thing. And this is the last act of subsidence. I think is how you say it. We look at that thing. So why do I like it so much? I like it because of how its simplicity and direct in your face. That tells you right there, there's no beating around it. This is a fucking skull. You look at that thing. Also, I grew up looking at this image. This very skull is the same one used on the cover on that movie, The People Under the Stairs. You see the connection, so rest in peace, Wes Craven. But yeah, so this skull was actually used on a split they did with, who the hell was that? I can't remember the band, Inquest, something like that, back in 1995. So that movie, that People Under the Stairs was already out by that time. So they just swiped that image. And these guys were based in Greece. I don't think they were worried about copyright, but they threw that stuff under split on their cover. And they used it here. So I don't know if Dark Symphonies has any legal issues being. I don't know where this particular image came from, but I know it's used in that movie. Sarcastic Terror, really cutting, very riffy death metal, very inspired by a lot of the American bands, a little bit of European bands, but I hear mostly the American bands in here. Very cutting stuff, like I said. Fast, aggressive. It's just where it needs to be. Really satisfying. But this is just a compilation of all their stuff, demo material, splits, and whatnot. But definitely worth picking up if you see it around. I know it's a very limited run, so if you see it out in the wild, it probably won't be out for very long. So, all right, got a couple bonus ones for you. I did pull the CD. So this is a band I don't hear people talk about very much, and not very appreciated for some reason. I don't know. So they formed in 2010, 2011, I think it's something like that. They've been pumping out releases very regularly. I think this is God, probably the six full length, I believe. So this is Girthang, and this is Absention. There's a skull right there. So I think everybody's been showing vinyl. So I thought, you know, screw it. I'm going to show some other formats here. So there's my CD. Girthang out of Poland. They kind of played this sort of blackened Death Doom, and very interesting sound. It's put out by Immortal Frost Productions. And I would say, like, I don't know, like if I were to describe this, think of like take Behemoth now, you know, the death metal Behemoth, but make them doomier, and without losing a lot of the black metal that they've kind of, I don't know, shed through the years. You know what I mean? So you kind of get this. I actually appreciate these guys more than Behemoth. This era of Behemoth, I guess you could say. Definitely check out Girthang if you haven't. I think they're very underrated, and they got quite a number of releases under their bag. You can start with this one, Ascension. Yeah. So as a bonus, I pulled 7-inch. So why not? Because I don't think nobody's been showing this. You know, 7-inch is still vinyl. So this is a split with Cauldron Black Ram and Sempiternal Dusk. Really cool skull image there. So I don't know, Gus, can you include 7-inch, or does it have to be 12-inch vinyl? It doesn't matter. Yeah, but look at that thing. It's like, you know, I don't know, like a skull with innards or whatever. I can't find artist credit on this anywhere. I don't know who did this, but that thing is damn cool. So Cauldron Black Ram, really cool. Like it's pirate metal out of Australia, but not that cheesy pirate metal. It's like that. It's proper death metal. You know, I mean, with some blackened elements. They're a little weird. You know, as you expect from something coming from down under. And but in Sempiternal Dusk, you know, based out of Portland. Cool band. So this was put out by Parasitic Records, and their logo also has skulls on it, if you can make it out there. Parasitic Records is actually owned by Tim Call, who's in the band Sempiternal Dusk. Tim Call is quite prolific. He's in a lot of bands actually. He did stuff for Wolf of Congregation. Probably explains how maybe the connections with Cauldron Black Ram from down under. So he's also in Wergoat, that other band Nightfell. So yeah, really cool stuff. Yeah, I know I keep saying that because it is cool, man. And lastly, so I see this last one for a special buddy of ours in a VC community, Roger Keurig. So this is something I think he would really enjoy. So this is a 7-inch put out on Record Store Day, special edition. This is a single, and it's done in stencil form. Yes, stencil form. So this is Killswitch Engage with Define Love. Yeah, eat your heart out. Look at this thing. So yeah, and like I said, it's literally a stencil. This is all cut out. I'm afraid to take it out because it's just it's so fragile. It might break. Well, if it breaks, Roger might be happy. I'm not gonna give it the satisfaction. I think it is on. Is it on white vinyl? Yeah, I think, and it's on white vinyl. Look at that shit. Yeah. So there you go. So those are my skulls. Hope you enjoyed it. I think that's all my pulls. Yeah. So Gus. So take a snapshot of any of these you like. Like I said, but that Sarcastic Terror probably my favorite right now because it's no frills. There's no meaty stuff. It's just a bare ass skull looking right at you. And I think it's what made that cover for the people under the stairs. Very striking. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll leave you all with that. This was fun. You know, skulls are always an easy thing and an easy pull, and it gave me an excuse to talk about some stuff I haven't shown or haven't shown in a long time on this channel. So yeah, and everybody who's participated in this, very cool. Gus put up a playlist, so if you want to see all the entries, and also a way to discover new channels, and I discovered new channels just through this. That's why I love these threads, man. So yeah, so now I'm gonna stop rambling and I'm gonna end the video right here.